Today I was shipped this. We're going to do an unboxing and a review of it. This was shipped to me by the company that makes the Shell portable power station. We're going to get this unboxing going and show you what's inside and then a review. So we're going to start unboxing this and open it up. I figured to do it on top of my camper because guess where we're going to take it? Camping. It'll be the perfect place for us to do a review and test out all the settings and check everything on it. So right now we're just going to do the unboxing. So we're going to pull this out of the box here. There we are, there's the box it comes in. It comes with the power station, and it's a 583 watt-hour portable lithium battery emergency power station. Obviously you can see the picture of what it looks like, charge your phones, a couple other things. We'll go over that in the review. But it comes with this box here. It's a pure sine wave inverter built in, which is good. Definitely want that for like high-end electronics. If you're going to be using a laptop to charge. Oh look, it looks like a little, there's the manual it comes with, the power supply, and it looks like you got two choices. You got the way to plug it through using your 12-volt battery, or the plug into the adapter here. There's this nice little carry case. I can get you a little bit more coverage there. So it looks like you can put it in this carry case and zip it up or Velcro it. That's pretty neat. That's definitely nice. Keep it in nice shape when you're traveling. And inside is the unit. And it's about 16 pounds, somewhere around there. So not as heavy as a deep cycle lead acid battery. Big sign out here says fully charged before use, so we're definitely gonna get that charged up. That's pretty much it for the unboxing of this solar power station. We'll go over more details when we do the review. Okay, so I've done the unboxing video, and it's been a couple months since I've done that, and I'm adding that all into this one video. And I just wanted to point out after the unboxing, I went on quite a few campouts since then, and I've been using this unit since that time, and let me tell you something, it has definitely extended the range of my camping season. I am mid-November right now. It is 34 degrees Fahrenheit outside. We had a little bit of snow and wind last night. Nothing sticks yet, but it definitely was cold. The camper I'm in is a pop-up. We are rustic camping in the middle of, nowhere. I'm in a campground though, but it's in Michigan, and it's pretty cold out here. And we have solar on the camper, but it only covers the actual, functioning of the heater and the lights. I don't really go too much further than that unless it's emergency. I do have an inverter built into it. However, I found that it really doesn't last as long because I don't have the room for a battery bank in this small little pop-up camper. So this definitely makes the difference. The Shell portable power station is definitely a to-have kind of item. It is very comparable to a more expensive item that rhymes in crackery, but definitely don't use that. I'm not all for like high-end name brand items that cost insane amount of money. This one obviously is a branded item, and it does not cost a ton of money. Very inexpensive and very comparable to that device for which we will not name. This is awesome. I've used it several times. I have several pictures that we'll go through. I'll show you kind of areas where I've used it. We have a solar panel that goes to it as well. You can get a solar panel for it. We recommend anything 100 watts and down because it really is rated for 65 watts. But you can see right here, this little input to the left of the charger is an Anderson, connector. It's a smaller connector. than a larger one, but you can get the one for it. Just look up Anderson solar connector, and then you'll pretty much be on target for that. This unit right here, I'm actually charging using the solar on the roof right now because it's a good time to do that. Even though there's not a lot of sunlight here in Michigan at this time of year with cloud cover, it will definitely charge my system because I only got it down to 70% this morning making coffee. And you know, I used my bed heater. The mattress actually has a heater built into it. With this plugged in, I can go all weekend with it on just setting a setting of 4. It'll go 34 hours on this battery bank with the heater. So that definitely, like I said, extends the range of the camping season. I didn't have to turn the heat up too high last night. I'm saving on propane. Definitely a good item. Right now this is a 583 watt hour unit. It can put out to about 500 watts. My coffee maker is 500 watts. It puts out about 503 to 504 watts. This thing handles it with no business, like no issue at all. It's awesome. It takes about 10 minutes to do my coffee and then turn it off. It's just a little four cup pot, so it's perfect for me because no one else in the family drinks coffee. So I'm gonna go over a few things on the unit though. And right here, you're gonna see you've got the output. Right now there's nothing plugged into it. You'll see several pictures that I have where there is output. Sometimes you'll see 3 watts. I think that has something to do with the BMS, the battery management system built in, where it cools the unit or controls it. So you'll see and when it's charging off and on 3 to 5 watts here and there, like right now. 66 watts in, I'm actually plugged in using the inverter of the camper and the solar on the roof to charge this with the 65 watt charger that it comes with. It also comes with this unit right here where you can plug it into a car and charge from your car, or some kind of deep cycle battery recommended. Or if you're riding on a long trip, we do this on long trips. We actually plug this in and make sure it's completely charged on the way there. We just plug it into our 12 volt outlet in the vehicle on our long drive. Right, here's your input, so that's 66 watts in. You can double that by using the PD 65 watt USB-C port right here, and use a charger, plug-in charger to double that, so you can go up to 120 watts, you know, so it's pretty cool there. You've got an output for a DC out. You got 2 DC outs here for 12 volt DC out. They work great for plugging in 12 volt lighting if you know where to get that from. I've got some for the camper here, but I use it for the camper, not so much here. You've got this is also an output. It's an input output on the USB-C. This one is a 5 volt 2.4 amp output USB. These both are, so you get 2 of those, and then you got a quick charge port which puts out, like, you know, to fast charge your phones. It's got the 9 volt and everything else if you got a USB-C connector and the right cord for that. Over here you've got 2 AC outlets with grounding ports, so you can use the bigger items. And up here you have your charge time. Right now it's saying the charge time, how long it's going to take to charge it. Now, when you're doing a draw on it, it'll tell you how much battery time you have left. And then it'll show you down here how much battery you have left. It'll also show you how much wattage you're using per item or device you have plugged in all together. It also has a wireless charging port on the top, or just not a port, you just sit your phone up there. If you have wireless charging built into your phone, you can just sit it right on there. Got the handle here where you can pick it up. It does have built-in fans. Usually those only come on when you're using 110 volts. You'll hear the fan kick in if it gets warm. That's to manage the heat from putting out the converter to invert the power to 110 volt. It is a pure sine wave inverter, so you don't have to worry about plugging your electronics in and frying them. Definitely can plug it in. It's awesome. With that note, you can bring your laptops, which I do, where I do video editing and stuff like that, or I play video games if I'm bored, or watch a movie. So you have the power button here, which you can turn the unit on or off. I'm just going to turn it off for you. It won't turn off, I think it's because there's a charge coming in. So, but good to know, it'll keep charging. So if you need to turn it off, you have to unplug it to turn it off. Over here is your light on the back. There is a light on the back. This is a red light for like a caution type deal. You also have a flashing red light. So if you have this on the side of the road, or you have it in your car for emergencies, you can put it out there if you're on the side of the road and you're in a very dangerous area. That way somebody sees that light flashing. Then you got a regular light. This is just a regular light and a dimmer, so you can actually use it for lighting in, like, inside a tent or something like that if you go tent camping. Then there's an SOS So it flashes the SOS symbol or signs for Morse code, and it also does the sound for Morse code. Let's say you're stuck in the middle of nowhere and, you know, I don't know, maybe you can't yell or scream. I mean, this, you can leave that on and that'll submit that sound for you. I'm not sure where you'd use that, but I mean, in the emergency, that'd be good because it's making sound and it's flashing lights, so it might be good in nighttime or something going on. So there's, you know, potentials for that as well. When you first get the item, or the unit here, you want to make sure that you completely charge it. There is a sticker on it that says fully charge across the front here before use. Highly recommend you charge it all the way up. That way it's good to go. It does have battery management built into it, so you don't have to worry about it being too charged or too undercharged. It'll take care of those issues. If I don't know if it's sitting too long, it'll charge down or not, but I haven't seen that yet. I haven't given it the time to do such a thing. But when you plug in a solar panel, you can get the solar panel with an Anderson connector. Just be aware this does not have an MPPT built into it. You would have to purchase that separately. The power adapter, obviously 65 watts. Don't freak out when you leave it charged and plugged in charging to 65 watts. Make sure you put it on a solid countertop or something, because it does get rather warm. It's pretty warm to the touch. I mean, it doesn't burn you, but it gets warm because it's cranking out. And that little power supply, I'll show you over here. The little power supply right here is actually putting out 65 watts. So you definitely want to be aware of that you don't want to put that on something that's like really soft material, you know, that may be heat susceptible to melting or anything like that. Now, to give you some ideas of what this can handle and how it breaks down, I'll show you, some outputs on here. This is the manual right here. You'll see the AC power to give you an example of a 32-inch TV at 60 watts, and we're talking 32-inch TV as in old tube, I believe, because I've never seen a 32-inch TV at 60 watts on a new LED or LCD screens. But that will give you an approximate usage with a fully charged battery of 7.5 hours, in case you want to really couch potato out on an old school TV. Car chargers, a 12-volt electric kettle. You can get 12-volt stuff for, like, RVs and stuff like that. It's 120 watts. It'll go for about 2 hours. That's a lot of wattage in 12-volt standards. So a mini fridge at 60 watts will go 37 hours. That's if you get one of those mini fridges that still have like the old compressors and stuff like that. More than likely you're going to get something a little bit more newer with something that small. If you're going to go somewhere camping, you probably want to use like a Peltier effect type cooler. It says drone on here, 90 watts, 9 recharges. That's probably close to right. I have 2 small drones, and they take up quite a bit of wattage up front to charge, but not terribly that high. I think that's for like a larger drone. I have pretty mini-sized drones. USB-C mobile phone, 20 watts. It'll do 53 recharges on your phone. That's just kind of an average example. A MacBook, for those of you that use Apple products, that is about 30 watts. A 12-inch MacBook will do about 7 recharges. And a USB-C motion camera, 5 watts, approximately 95 recharges. Well, I can tell you out of experience, I've taken this and done some really heavy stuff on it for a while. Camping, we use it for everything. Charging our phones, our laptops, the kids' tablets, our coffee every morning. My coffee maker takes literally about 20% of the battery power every morning. But I turn around and put that on the solar panel, and you'll see in some videos, or pictures and videos, I think I got solar panels I'm going to show you in this as well. That solar panel, even on a rough day, will charge from a 70% charge back up to 100% within about 5 or 6 hours, as long as obviously the weather's good, because the type of solar panel I have is kind of cloth based on the outside, so it doesn't hold up the wind too well because it's just a portable. You sit out there on a good day. This unit's rated to operate at a temperature of -4 degrees Fahrenheit to 140 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's got a good temperature range. Charging temperature, they recommend it be above freezing. Obviously, it's lithium-ion batteries in there, to 122 degrees Fahrenheit. But when you're discharging, you can definitely be out in some serious cold. Obviously, you're not going to get the long times of the battery because lithium doesn't work as well under cold conditions. I kind of figured that out with my electric vehicle that I drive. but this unit is 15 pounds. So it's you think that's kind of heavy, but up front, but it's really not. Compared to a car battery, it is a lot lighter than a car battery, so it's easy to carry around, especially with that nice sturdy handle. And that sturdy handle's got like some, like almost a rubbery, connector here, like where you can reach your hand on. It's been connected on here to make it a little bit more, comfortable. So it's definitely, I can carry that around from, point A to point B, no problem, no issues. It's not very large, about the size of a car battery. So if you picture a car battery in your vehicle, one of the longer 27A style, for those of you who know those sizes, it's about a 27A style battery shape and size. It does a continuous 500 watts of output with pure sine wave. It has two 12-volt outputs at 5 amps each. Those will put out 5 amps, so that you can actually get 5 amps out of those. On the car sockets, you can go 10 amp. So you can go 10 amps out of that. So if you have a device that takes 10 amps, then you're okay. Anything over that, you might be pushing it. Then you have the USB ports, like I said before. The QC port has 5 volt at 3 amp, 9 volt at 2 amp, 12 volt at 1.5 amp for a total output of 18 watts, which is traditionally your typical speed charger for your phone that you're now getting nowadays with the USB-C type cords. The two Type 2 USB 5.4 or USB, they're 5.5 volts and 2.4 amps. Both of those, they stay right on there. It's perfect. The rest of them don't, so I'm kind of giving those specs there. The Type C PD port is a 5 volt 3 amp, 9 volt 3 amp, 15 volt 3 amp, 20 volt 3.25 amp, and so it puts a max output of 65 watts out. So it can take about the same amount in as well, so because that's an input-output port. So you can definitely do some charging. If you don't have this handy with you or any charge method, you can always plug your actual cell phone charger in here if you got somewhere to plug it. It's just going to take a lot longer to charge it up. So there's really not much troubleshooting with this either. It's really simple. It'll tell you if there's an overload. It'll say to take off the devices. If you go too high on your wattage, like you have way too many things plugged in and then you're trying to, run an electric chainsaw, it's not gonna really work too well for you. There's also an error that you can get is a number 2. It's charging input or output overpowered. Temperature too high. If you're in a really hot place or that thing gets getting really hot, you definitely have to make sure there's ventilation. There are vents on the side of this, and just make sure that there is ventilation to allow this unit to cool while it is charging. Or if it's being used too much or you're using a lot of voltage on it, a lot of amperage, you're going to hear that fan going. It may overheat if you go too high on your wattage. If you go and stay around 500 watts, you're not going to have any issue. However, this unit will go higher. Up front, you can go, I've got it to go to 1,000 watts, but it tapers off, so you get a less voltage on whatever you're using. Like if you're using a power tool, it will definitely drop down to a lower setting to regulate that. So be aware that you'll be able to use the device, however, it's going to be a lot less voltage, so you might not get the power that you need to power that power tool. There's a couple other errors. There's output voltage low, short circuit, system error, and DC input error. If it doesn't switch on, obviously they recommend charging the battery to see if that works. If the product does not charge or operate, then you got to make sure that you're ensuring that you're pressing the corresponding charge type button. So if there's something that you're trying to use, make sure that that's powered on, because like the AC you don't just plug something in and come on. You actually have to hit the button to power that on, and then you'll see that comes on. Also USB comes on with it, but if you need DC current, you just turn that on as well. You can turn all of those on. By turning on the AC button, you're going to get some output here, because there's regulating the inverter and everything, so it takes 2 to 5 watts to regulate that. So you'll see some output here because that AC inverter's on. It does take some power to invert the power, so turning that back off brings it back to a 0. So that's pretty much it for that. I'm going to show you some kind of quick clips and shots of everything I've done over the past few months with the unit and how we use it, so you can kind of get an idea of this can be used every day and actually be used. It definitely works well for a whole weekend. You can not run out of power on a whole weekend on this, even with 2 coffee days, with 20% gone. You can keep your phones charged in small tablets all the way until you have to leave Sunday morning. So enough with that. Here's the videos and the pictures of what I've done over the last couple of months with the unit.